We're stepping into an elevated understanding of how we feel good in the 3D world. I'm so excited for this Taurus new moon, which is ruled by Venus, that's happening on the 7th or 8th of May, 2024, depending on where you live. Hello and welcome. My name's Chloe. I work with card divination, astrology, and as you just heard, and as you can see, I channel energies through my body, bringing in these multi-dimensional energies to help bring in healing, attunement, and activation codes with the messages that come through. For those of you who know your time of birth and you know your natal chart, I really recommend you check out the sign that falls in the first house first. This is called your rising sign, where your ascendant is. I will be reading for all of the signs as if they are in the first house. So the astrology will link in closest with this. However, it doesn't invalidate you looking at any other part of your chart. Perhaps where your sun or your moon are, because they always get activated with every lunation. So just look to wherever that sign falls in your chart. Look to the house that it's in and the themes of that house. You want to apply those themes to the messages that come through, along with all the other meaning you've got going on in that sign. It will be as if that sign has now moved to the first house, but with all of the meaning of your natal chart. So the astrology for the rising sign will still link in. You've just got to add on a little bit of natal chart meaning on top of it. For those of you who don't know your natal chart, but you know where your sun and your moon are, well, you can always apply that to the messages that come through, because it will be wherever that sun is, wherever that moon is, has now moved to the first house. So you'll get a sense of how that shows up for you as well. Right, I am going to be reading for Taurus. Taurus rising. How you doing, Taurus? So I cut the deck 3 times before starting your reading, and we got the Strength card, the Ace of Swords, and the 5 of Cups in reverse. And this feels like this. The Strength card there's another word for it. It's called Lust, from the Aleister Crowley deck, and that represents the lust for life. And it's this harmonious balance between our instinctive animal side and our cognitive higher mind. And it's through love and kindness that we operate in that flow, that balanced state that then brings about a release and a joy into life, but a release of that grief, that stuck stagnant energy which came up in the reverse, and the clarity, the vision to implement it with that Ace of Swords. So great energy showing up already. So, right, wherever Taurus falls in your chart, this is conjunct that Taurus energy. So this transit is happening in the sign of Taurus, which means it's activating a new cycle. When we have conjunctions, it's like a new moon, and this is a new moon. And so this is bringing in a elevated cycle from everything that you've been working on before. So that's wherever Taurus falls in your chart, we've got this new cycle coming in. For those of you who don't have Taurus rising, because I read for the rising signs, but doesn't invalidate you, those of you who don't have it, because look to wherever Taurus falls in your chart, look to the house that it's in, the themes of that house, and you want to apply those themes as well as all the meaning you've got going on in Taurus to the messages that come through. That Taurus energy of your natal chart will now be as if it's moved to the first house. So the astrology for the Taurus rising will still link in wherever Taurus falls in your chart. So I am pulling cards for 3 different piles, the lead up to this new moon. So that's coming from the Taurus full moon that we had in Scorpio season last year. What have you been integrating? What's been unfolding? And then how is your energy showing up? That's then going to be working with the new moon. So that is pile 1. Pile 2 is the energy download. I see lunations as portals for activation codes and downloads that will then unfold over the next 6 months. So that's pile 2. What energy download, what frequency is coming through that is you're then going to be working with. Now, the baseline for pile 2 is always the collective reading, and that's the first video that goes out with every transit series. I love the collective readings. I get to break down the astrology in way more detail, and that forms a harmonic blueprint of how everything's talking to one another. There is the depth of the understanding of what energy are you working with this Taurus moon. And I also did a collective tarot reading and channeled messages, and all of those lovely things came through in the collective reading. So if you want a deeper understanding of what's going on with this moon, go check that out, because I'm only going to be touching very briefly on some of the astrology, and I go into it into more detail in that reading. And I also talked about how this is amplifying what we've been working on since the Aries total solar eclipse, because there's a lot of interlinking energy here, and we're building and building. We had the Jupiter Uranus conjunction in your sign, Taurus, as well as we've just had that Scorpio full moon, that it was sort of clearing the path and activating our creation energy. If you don't have time to go back and look at those transits, although I do recommend the total solar eclipse and the Jupiter Uranus conjunction, because they are two of the biggest portals that we're having this year, and there's still, that energy is still very present at the moment and will be, because we're just building on it. But if you don't have time to go and go and connect back to those transits on this YouTube channel, there are Instagram posts and community posts where I sort of summarize as quickly as I can the overall energy of that, just to give you a little understanding of what's going on here. New viewers who didn't quite catch the introduction, and I do apologize if I've already said this, I sometimes, my brain just dumps things out. I channel multi-dimensional energies through my body, bringing in healing, attunement and alignment with the messages that come through in these readings. So they're going to be popping up throughout the reading. So pile 2 is the energy download of how that's going to affect the Taurus area of your chart, with the baseline of the collective reading. Pile 3 is how all this energy is going to manifest moving forward. So those are the piles. We've got a new moon in the sign of Taurus. So this is activating and elevating, bringing in a shift of energy from everything that you've been working on into a new cycle. This is when the moon is at her darkest, her most receptive to the cognitive vision of the sun. So our intuition, our emotional body is being imprinted by the sun's energy. And so this sees an unfolding over the next 6 months of any intentions you may have set around this time, or just generally the energy of that moon itself unfolding. So we've got this big new beginning, this new cycle happening in the sign of Taurus. Now for Taurus rising, where is this happening? Well, it's happening in your rising sign. Oh, hey, Venus. There's that Ace of Swords. This is happening in your rising sign, where your ascendant is, and this is the house of self. This is a very, very powerful house, and this is how you embody your sun or your moon in your actions and your deeds. All depends if you've got a day or a night chart, which luminary is providing wisdom to your ascendant, which is your navigator, of where you're going. But the navigator, your ascendant, is the lens in which you move to that direction, into that direction. It's the embodiment of that. And so this is your sense of self, your body, your character, and it's often how other people see you, because they see that embodiment, they see those actions rather than what might be going on behind the scenes. It's an incredibly powerful house. So you've got this big new moon happening here. So this is an elevation of self. This is, again, everything that you've been working on, figuring out who are you, how do you want to embody yourself, what does the self mean to you, is now activating a new cycle. So you can set intentions around here about stepping into your full embodiment. As well as you can also bring in the intention of bringing up things that may be blocking that. And in order for you to work with it over the next 6 months. Bringing more in alignment and having faith in yourself. Taurus for me is generally it is the personal connection to Earth, ruled by Venus. And for me, it's the physical senses, right? It's our intuition personally through our senses. What is our body trying to tell us? And bringing more alignment with that, more connection to your body. tending to your vessel, tending to your character, bringing more love into that energy of how you see yourself, activating a cycle of being seen from your true nature, often how other people see you is the first. Overall, it is generally a new cycle around you and how you understand yourself and how you are seen by others. You can bring in the intention of elevating the energy of your navigator, of how you move through the world that's more in alignment with your soul's frequency. They like this one. They're just sort of tapping around the heart area. So let's get into the astrology. Now, who's hanging out in Taurus apart from the sun and the moon? Well, Venus, the ruler of this sign, Jupiter and Uranus. Now, Jupiter and Uranus have just come out of a conjunction with one another. Exactly. They are still very closely conjunct to one another. So that's one of the reasons why I recommend watching that transit. Also, that transit happens every 13 to 14 years. So doesn't happen very often. It's one of the biggest conjunctions of the year, if not the decade. And so that I talk in more detail about Jupiter and Uranus and how they interact with one another, because they're closely in alignment with this new moon. So it's a very similar energy. But essentially, Jupiter and Venus are both benefics. They want to help us out. They want us to feel good. They are not necessarily the same challenges that come along with Saturn and Mars. And we're not going to have this those two in this sign for another 12 years. So again, this is a big moon in terms of the Jupiter energy coming through and the wisdom that we've learned over the past year since Jupiter moved into this sign. So Jupiter and Uranus influencing this moon. Uranus really wants you to be uniquely yourself and wants you to feel confident and comfortable being so. It is very innovative. It goes against tradition. It's able to think outside of the lines and bring in and bring in a new sense of embodiment that's in alignment with your soul. For me, Uranus breaks chains and clears paths if our soul is unhappy, and it can be quite disruptive in its nature. So you may have noticed since it moved into the sign of Taurus, alimo tu fiani atinima utufa itiana utuile madishena modialima utuile iala madisheni ela utufia diane mutuini edini ela utufitisha. Sorry, my brain always goes a bit squiffy when they start cutting the deck. Itinima ushetini uyeni. Ella. I had a feeling she might want to come out. Okay. So what was I saying? Yeah, Uranus in your first house. Been there for a little while now. So you've been recalibrating back into your truth of your embodiment. And now we're bringing this all into being in this cycle of this new moon, especially with Jupiter there as well, very close to Uranus. Because Jupiter elevates, it brings things together in order to expand and bring in deeper sense of wisdom. And with that wisdom, with that knowing that Jupiter can bring, that brings a level of confidence that allows you to be more generous of spirit, be seen in that way, bring in a sense of flow and opportunities and abundance around your sense of self and how you feel about yourself. And now this is all feeding into this new moon. And so it's really elevating your connection to love, right, of that Venusian energy. Venus is in her own sign. So she's doubling down, not only because she's close to the sun and the moon, but she's also ruler of this sign. So there's a lot of Venusian energy. Half these cards, the oracle cards, I always pull them before doing a transit, and it will follow the all 12 sign season. In the middle, which is basically representing the new moon, is a card of ecstasy, Eros, which represents love, the dove of peace, and the heart of the earth. And I was like, well, hello, Venus. She's pretty loud. She's in her own realm. She's, in her own flow. She's really, you're feeling a lot more confident. You're more connected to yourself, a sense of value and appreciation of self. So you've really got a boost here of an elevation of a sense of self. I'm going to say that word quite a few times. And so Venus is bringing in a sense of harmony within yourself and how you understand your own character. And this will also be adding on a layer of charm to the generosity of Jupiter, right? Jupiter can bring us good publicity, right? So with Venus here, how other people see you is going to be in a lot more harmonious way. And this is an imprint for 6 months. So it's a really glorious energy. And what else was I going to say about that? Yeah, there's a sense of you become very loving in your embodiment of self. With Venus in the first. Your actions are around connection, wishing for bringing in joy, of harmony, of a sense of diplomacy in your being. And bringing in more opportunities with that Jupiterian and Uranus energy of you being seen in a more charming way of your unique self. Now, Saturn is making the only other sort of major aspect to this moon. And Saturn's over in the sign of Pisces, which for you is sextiling your Taurus energy. A sextile is an aspect of Venus. So again, creativity, love, appreciation, a sense of value, harmony, grace, diplomacy, play, joy, love, connection, right? All of that good stuff. A very free-flowing energy, but it's also quite creative because you're both yin signs, Pisces and Taurus. But there's this sense of, but you're different elements and you're different modalities. Pisces is mutable, Taurus, you're fixed. But because of that root yin energy being in common, you're able to play, you're able to enjoy the differences because you're coming from a root commonality. It's a free-flowing energy. You're not really having to fight it. Saturn's very mature. There's a sense of honoring cause and effect. Of karma, of there's a level of commitment that Saturn brings that allows you to step into your own integrity and activate your legacy. There's a sense of authority with Saturn, and it's over in the 11th house for you Taurus risings of hopes and dreams, friends, groups and alliances, and reaping the benefits of your 10th house. And I've talked a lot about Saturn in Pisces. There's 3 transits. The 3rd is still live. If you haven't caught any of them and you want to understand that in more detail, go check out the first reading and the introductions of those readings, because I talk about the overall themes of Pisces, Saturn, Neptune, Jupiter, all of those things, as well as the themes of Saturn in the 11th for Taurus rising. And also the 3rd one is now Saturn moving direct. And so Saturn making harmonious aspects to your sense of self. What I'm feeling is you coming from a place of love and abundance and wisdom and your unique soul frequency, right? The radiation of this from this new moon, with Saturn sextiling it from the house of friends, groups and alliances. This is bringing in a level of maturity just straight off the bat on the collective reading of how we connect to feeling good in the 3D world, of love, of pleasure, of desire, and all of those things that the Venusian Taurus energy can connect to. We are elevating, we're bringing in a sense of maturity around that, that is actually allowing more play and allowing more joy, because it's getting restrictions and boundaries out of the way of us truly tapping into that magical Pisces energy of the miracles of existence. But I also see you being seen in a more from a place of authority through your embodiment of self with friends, groups and alliances. And this is going to unfold over the next 6 months. And through your embodiment of self, of the conjunction in the first, Saturn is elevating your ability to step into a level of commitment through your actions that are manifesting your hopes and your dreams. Because we're elevating love. We're bringing the truth of love into our physical body. And in terms of reaping the benefits from your 10th house, which is sort of life purpose, career energy, there's a real sense, again, of visibility from a place of maturity and legacy energy with Saturn. There's activating a vision of self from the career house that is bringing in more benefits, right? Because Venus is squaring Pluto, and Pluto's up in your 10th house of your career and your life purpose. So this is activating manifestation around it. Now, the only other thing I'm going to mention, there's lots of other stuff going on, which is really cool, but that's in the collective reading, is the fact that Mercury and Chiron are conjunct one another in the sign of Aries at 21 degrees. And this is pulling in that Aries energy of honoring the I am within and connecting the dots with Mercury, of this sort of divine inspiration coming in from Chiron that is elevating our ability to connect to the magic of our soul. For you've got this in the 12th house, the hidden house. This can be anxiety, grief, depression, loss, isolation, all come from the trauma responses and limiting beliefs in our unconscious spaces, in the hidden spaces. But underneath all of that, it's a very magical house, the magic of your soul. So Chiron being in there, the master teacher, is now focused on the wisdom rather than the wounds. Talked about this a lot in the Aries eclipse because it was conjunct that eclipse, and this is the next new moon after that. Mercury's no longer retrograde, so there's a sense of activations of the elevations of the magic of your soul and your ability to connect the dots through your instincts, that your physical body is now more in alignment and a releasing of some trauma responses that may have blocked you truly feeling comfortable in your sense of self. And this confidence that's coming in with this new moon, as I said, is going to ripple out in how other people see you. Right, look to where your sun and your moon are in your natal chart. Look to the themes of those houses. You want to, those themes are likely to show up during this cycle. And if you're doing intention work and manifestation work around the new moon, it might be a good idea to incorporate those themes into those intentions. Also, if you want to work with the Venusian energy, I've got this apple blossom here on the table. It comes from, I'm so eternally blessed, and I'm so grateful the fact I moved into somewhere that has an apple tree, and they taste like pink ladies. They're from the 1950s because I live in quite an old building. And the apple is very much a symbol of Venus, because when you cut it in half, it forms the 5-pointed star. And this is the 5 retrograde phases that she has in her retrograde cycle around the planet. And so it's a very Venusian energy. You might want to bring an apple with you, or when you're doing manifestation work around the new moon, as well as honey, mint, connecting into love, writing a love poem, doing something creative, bringing a sense of harmony. Definitely a lot of heart and meditations can be really helpful at the time. That's in alignment with your throat chakra, because Taurus rules the throat. And when we speak from a place of love, things unfold and unravel and bring in more abundance. Right. I'm going to go consciously quiet. I'm going to soften my mind. The energies that I work with, they are going to move these cards around. They're going to do some energy work. They're going to do some energy work, and then they'll put the cards into the 3 piles, and that's when I'll bring the tarot into the astrology. I call you to soften your mind as well. You just had loads of information. Let that all settle, and then see what intuitive hits come up while this is all going on for you. In relationship to this transit. It's a lot of earth energy showing up here. Diana. Itana madi ti 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 ut 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 ut. Ia lama utofia nia. Achinia dofi. Achania ati alia ni otu itiala. Just realized you got 3 aces. Ishana motu itiatina. Diana, 10 and 10. Yeah, you got 2 9s as well. Ishatianama. Ashinimo shi ala. Ela moto ele. Atinima. Oh, yinama. Yinema, inema, 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 inema. Inima. Ishini atufiala. Tuitini. Ela. Dianima utufiala. Dufiala. Etala, dishani moto fiala, etina, itufala, diala, 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 ushini, ushini, utufia, dishani ma achena, ela, duma, 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 ishala, ditini, matina, tina. Okay, right, let's sort these out. Itue di sinima ela itu finima titina. This card clearly wants to be here and here. Itu falama di sene atuele etu etinima etiana otuela alama iti ela di sinima etini ela di shana etiala di shala. Oh, liking this spread. Dicele. Do, di alima. Oh, tu fi. Oh, 3 10s. Whoa. Dicene ela. Dicene mo tu fini. Ele. Diala. Dicene ma. Oh, shinima tu fana. Italima o tu ile ela. Let's move this a little bit further down for you. Di cinema. Di elama utufai. Ufa tinima tinia tufina. Right, Taurus. What's been going on with you over the last 6 months from the full moon in your sign in Scorpio season? What have you been integrating? And then how is your energy showing up that's going to work with this part, with the new moon energy? You've got the 10 of Swords, the 5 of Pentacles with the 7 of Swords. And I feel like the Hermit's involved here as well, but the Hermit is more the energy that's showing up for how you're working with the next pile. 10 of Swords, very karmic. There's all those swords along the spine. Now in the spine we store a lot of our own current life trauma as well as that from previous lives. The energies that I channel, they are so keen on whenever I do any physical movement of to like doing spine unraveling. Like that is the point. Our Kundalini energy rises up through here, but it's blocked. So there's a sense of limitations, of immobilization. There's also arguably a level of betrayal here because they're all stabbed in the back, right? So this can be preconceptions, concepts, words, things that people have said, spells, that have caused a level of immobilization of how you understand yourself and how you're able to evolve and grow back into your soul's frequency. With this is an ending to this cycle. And it may have been situations have come up in the 3D realm around how you're seen, around how you understand yourself, perhaps blockages around being able to tend to your physical body, to understand the truth of your character, that have come up over the last 6 months. Now, as I said, it could be external things that have activated and triggered this energy within you, or you've had the time and space to realize that this is within you, whether it's happened in the external or not, and that you're coming into you've had the intention to come into a state of alignment, and realizing, okay, this has served me up until this point, but it's not part of the next part. It's come with the 5 of Pentacles. Now this is a sense of feeling left out in the cold, the sense of isolation, of rundown, of not having the resources that you need, not feeling supported. And so this can feel like perhaps an element of not being seen, of not being supported, of not your sense of self feeling quite neglected by the external. A sense of scarcity within yourself and not realizing your own abundance. And also a restriction of how you go out into the world. Because it's money energy, right? It's the 3D realm. So there may have been a restriction around resources that have come up that have just made your sense of self feel smaller than it should do. You may have also been working on a deeper connection to your own energy that isn't being impacted by the external. Right, and these things may have come up in order for you to navigate that. I mean, they will have done. And it's come with the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords is a beautiful card. It's the color of the sun, which means it's a positive. It's stealing away the Five of Swords, which is about conflict. And again, it's a sword suit of like the sort of ideas of self, any conflict through our embodiment may have brought up, right? Having Uranus move through there can bring up this sense of independence, and also this sort of the outside world responding to that different energy in a way that may have brought up some conflict. With the Seven of Swords, this figure is stealing that away. It's stealing away the internal conflict. It's stealing away your perceptions around how you're seen by the others through your actions that may have brought about conflict. And again, this is about thinking differently. This is about allowing a new mindset to come in that is no longer that sense of restriction of self, right? These two cards feel like very limiting in your embodiment of self and how that's expanding out in the rest of your chart. And so it's come with the Seven of Swords, which is giving you the space to find more peace within yourself. It's got the Two of Swords of like going inward, meditating, figuring out, okay, what is my true essence? That is beyond conflict, that's beyond restriction. It's also very unique thinking. So it's allowing that activation of Uranus, Jupiter, all coming through, or finding the wisdom within yourself. With the Hermit. So I feel like the Hermit's here as well as how this is your energy that's showing up for pile 2. And the Hermit is Virgo energy, and that for you is in your 5th house of creation energy, joy, pleasure, romance, dating, inner child work, children, play, amusement, games. And the Hermit is very independent, right? It's also got a really higher perspective. It's standing on top of a mountain, but it's not worried about what the outside world thinks about its actions. Even if it's faced disappointment, even if it's faced limitations, the fact that this is showing up saying you've got the strength within you to overcome that, to not allow yourself to be distorted by this anymore. It's got the light of the star within it as its guiding principle of taking you to this place of deep healing and activation of your star energy. But in terms of where the Virgo energy is, of wanting yourself to find your own joy, find your own creativity that isn't entangled with the external. Which is great for this overall theme of this moon, because we're bringing in an elevation of love, of pleasure, of joy, that Venusian's energy that is providing a deeper connection to love of this 3D existence for us all personally. So the Hermit is saying you're not gonna get you're coming to this energy with the ability, Virgo, right? Really bring it into the 3D realm. So the energy of this moon, well, we have this is the frequency that's coming in that you're then going to be working with over the next 6 months. We've got the Four of Cups in reverse, the Nine of Swords in reverse, with the, is that the next card? The Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords, the Ace of Wands, the Empress, the Seven of Cups, the Nine of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups, and the Three of Cups. So there's a sense of restriction around comparison. A release of comparison is the Thief of Joy. This figure is staring at the Three of Cups, which is the crowning energy, and seeing how everyone else is doing, right? What everyone else is doing and what they've got in their lives, and comparing and being in a state of lack, rather than being really happy that other people have got those things, which is what we should be headed for, in order to understand and cultivate abundance, right? So there's a sense of restriction here, like crossed arms, crossed legs, of not changing and being quite fixed and quite stagnant in, feeling that you don't have that flow within you, you don't have that abundance, it's not like what everybody else has. This is in reverse. Saying this is being released, this is being let go of, along with the Nine of Swords, which is all about fear, worry, anxiety, sleepless nights, not being able to slow down and smell the roses, which are here on the blanket. This is in reverse, so releasing a lot of worries. And that's making me think about the fact you've got Mercury and Chiron in your 12th, right, which have those difficult energies. There's a sense of liberation here and wisdom coming in that's then infiltrating in your embodiment of self. Three aces, man. Like, this hasn't happened for a while. Feeling good in the 3D realm, a new energy coming in, and a boost of energy that's bringing about a renewal and a sense of opportunities of your manifestation of self, that's coming in with divine wisdom and vigor, right? This power of creation energy, this very vibrant energy of the Ace of Wands. So we've got clarity of vision of your sovereignty, with the power of that fire energy of your confidence as well. So there's a real what you've been navigating has led to a space of allowing the clearing and the untanglement to unfold, and unravel. That's bringing in a real vibrancy of energy of self. The Empress, this is Venus. This is one of your rulers, Taurus. She wants you to feel good. This is very fertile energy, very creative energy. This is the charm that I was talking about of Venus being in your sign. So this is moving away from this sort of restriction and this scarcity. Venus is coming along and helping reorientate this energy field around you. Off the back of this big boost that you've got going on. She's activating a cycle of creation, a cycle of feeling good in the 3D realm that is elevating your ability to hope and dream, right? To fantasize, to contemplate realities beyond those restrictions. For me, the Seven of Cups is also the channeling card. So this can be about the embodiment of picking up on the clues, the synchronicities, the channeling, however that comes up for you. I believe we are all channelers, we're all psychics, we're all intuitives, we're all healers. We just do it all in very different ways that are unique to us. So this is really allowing you to understand yourself, your embodiment of self, how you move through the world, and activate a cycle of bringing in new realities, that are in alignment with this real depth of love that's coming in. Saturn in Pisces is really bringing solidity to the synchronicities, to the non-linear energy of the miracles of the universe. Because this is, obviously that link into your hopes and your dreams. A breakout of stagnation. And a real sense of being able to play with your world around you. And not to be in a state of fear about the decisions that you make through your embodiment. Got the Nine of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups, the Three of Cups. So the Nine of Pentacles, I did have a sinking feeling that she was going to crop up. This figure is very independent. This is Venus in Virgo. They know what they need to do in order to bring about this state of abundance. You see these grapes, they represent the harvest. They represent fertility. She's in a very fine robe. And there's a real element of understanding the decisions you need to make on the 3D plane that are bringing about this you not only feeling good in your work but in your downtime. Your embodiment of self is bringing in the sense of independence Uranus, that's bringing about a sense of abundance and feeling good, and allowing yourself to smell the roses. Isha, that's a different energy to the Nine of Swords. Itala, Disha, there's opportunities and situations coming in that are more in alignment with this new frequency. That's then going to unfold over the 6 months. Because we've got the Nine of Cups over here, and this is really feeling good about who you are. This figure is incredibly confident, right? And we've got Pisces energy as well, that feeling incredibly confident of who they are. There's a level of gratitude and abundance internally that is then reflected out in your external world, because you've got the Ten of Cups coming up, which is the next stage. The Knight of Cups, the Three of Cups. This is about moving through love. Right? The Knight of Cups is the true romantic, the embodiment of this energy, right? Of your cup being full, of carrying that Ace of Cups rather than ignoring it, of that Four of Cups. So knights embody their suit, right? This is a sense of emotional connection to the physical world that's coming from love, activated by this Taurus moon. And again, being more in flow of your actions out in the world, how you understand yourself, and seeing more love in the world around you. Three of Cups, right? Flow, unity, abundance, a sense of celebration. And I see this is how you're, rather than that Ten of Swords of like the betrayal of feeling immobilized perhaps by how other people perceive you. This is more in alignment. This is really saying, you're drawing towards you energies that are mimicking the flow that you're having within you, the sense of, I like existing. That's bringing in a lot of visibility around your actions. More pleasure coming into your life, more cause for celebration. Okay, so how this energy is manifesting moving forwards. Got the Four of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles, the King of Cups, the Page of Cups, the Ten of Cups, the Six of Wands, the Four of Wands, the Ten of Pentacles. So love the Four of Pentacles. This is you and your power, right? This is about, for me, this is a level of protection around you that is no longer letting your internal soul energy be distorted by the outside world in a way that is diminishing of your soul's path. That is allowing you to then manifest in the 3D. But overall, there's a sense of sovereignty and power of self. We've then got two kings, right? King of Pentacles, King of Cups. See here, this is the only other card that has Venus's, the Empress's golden scepter. More grapes, more abundance, more sovereignty with these two kings, and maturity. We've got the Pisces energy and the Taurus energy of you being very confident within yourself and being able to take action that is bringing about abundance. It's bringing about a sense of security in the 3D realm, along with emotional control and flow, and really being in alignment with your intuition. We link it into the 11th of taking action around your hopes and dreams, being seen as very mature, as I said, by friends, groups and alliances, which may have a knock-on effect of what you receive from the benefits you receive from your life purpose, your career house, which is giving you more strength of character in yourself and giving you more freedom of self in the world. Page of Cups, Ten of Cups. So this is love this of being more communicative in your embodiment through love. Through magic. Perhaps leading to opportunities of love that are mimicking the frequency within yourself. I feel like this is also lots of synchronicities and events unfolding around your hopes and your dreams. If we're thinking about friends, groups and alliances, of what you have to say, of how your energy communication with friends, groups and alliances being more accessible and more playful, that's bringing about opportunities. With the Ten of Cups, this is the outward expression of that Nine of Cups. So you see the rainbow, it's the only rainbow in tarot, and rainbows for me represent the chakra body. And so this is the alignment here that is then externalized in the outward expression of the chakra body with the rainbow. It is a nuclear family, but this just represents the externalization of your emotional alignment and how you see that show up in the 3D. So there's gratitude and love coming in. You're seeing that reflected in your outside world. Perhaps some of you, it is a hope and dream around to meet someone, have a family. They're living in the countryside, live there. I mean, those are just, again, this is just one representation, but it can also be anything linked around your hopes and your dreams that you're seeing materialize. And overall, just a genuine sense of emotional alignment that is rippling out in the rest of your chart. Remember, Venus is square Pluto, so that link into your life purpose career house is funneling into this moon. We have the Six of Wands and the Four of Wands with the Ten of Pentacles. Six of Wands is about recognition, right? Visibility and being seen as something victorious, right? Something to be celebrated. This figure has just come and done something. They've already done the thing, and now they are being received. There's about to be a banquet. They're being celebrated for the work that they've done. And we've got that victory wreath that is saying that it was successful. There's a sense of being appreciated through your embodiment of what it is that you're doing over the next 6 months. There's going to be a sense of appreciation. And bringing that sense of celebration. And that's doubled down by the Four of Wands. And this is about putting in the hard work. I link it into the harvest. Putting in the hard work, doing, hard work's not a bad thing. It's just our perspective around it. Really committing to this embodiment and understanding yourself and really bringing this energy within yourself that then at the end of this cycle, we're going to have a sense of celebration. We're going to have a sense of the harvest coming in, of the bounty. And again, we can link that into your hopes and dreams, as well as career and life purpose. And how you're seen. I really just keep getting that. Ten of Pentacles, final tarot card. This is legacy energy, right? This is long-term commitment energy manifest, right? This is a city. Cities take forever to build. So it represents that longevity. But we've also got the nuclear family again, so we've got a repeat of that, so that may be very relevant for some of you. But it's with the elder figure covered in esoterical symbols, and this represents the blending of the physical and the metaphysical, the mundane and the spiritual. And when we're in that alignment, that's when we can truly build in this world. But overall, this is whatever's being activated here for you, Taurus. It is taking you to a place of legacy. Whether that fully manifests in the next 6 months is all going to depend on your own chart and where you're at and what's doing. No wonder I felt the visibility. The sun was at the bottom of this deck. Freedom, nature, free-spirited, innocent. But whatever's going on, there's a sense of security and feeling good in the 3D world of that there's what am I trying to say? There's a maturity here in your embodiment that is bringing in that Nine of Pentacles, and this is obviously the next one over, the Ten of Pentacles, of through that process you are seeing that manifest, and it may be little stages or it could be a big completion. So the sun, again, that visibility, that sense of self. And I got the Tower. Alarm, storms, electrical impulses, lightning. They're doing some work around the throat chakra from the third eye. Okay, so this feels like a pulling down of structures that have blocked your ability to tap into the happy Buddha, right? The happy Buddha manages to find a way of looking at life, whatever's going on, from a place of joy. We've got karma, domino effects. Stuff's been going on with you. It's sort of crossing here. That you're clearing out that old karma, that Ten of Swords that's led to a certain journey that you've been on that you needed to go on in order to get to this space. We've got synchronicities showing up. That's that Pisces energy. And so with that, I'm feeling like this karma is now shifting here. That the potential difficult energy has been part of the process to get to that Nine of Cups, right? Of truly go dig deep within yourself and find the gratitude despite what might be going on. And this is going to lead on to a domino effect moving forwards that is bringing things into alignment. we've got synchronicities. Italima autofi, domestic harmony. So domestic harmony within yourself, an embodiment of self, ichala, and manifestation. And then you've been cultivating that. And pride. I'm really liking that pride card. It's taken effort to get into a level of domestic harmony, even though there's been difficult things going on, because there's been difficult things going on. And because of that, the wisdom of the hermit, because you've been putting in this effort, you are bringing yourself into alignment that is allowing more flow, more ease internally, and you are going to see that out in the world. Pride of self, pride, love, 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 love that. We did get the strength card at the beginning when I cut the deck, which is Leo, and the pride, you know, is the name used for a group of lions. So that, again, that could be coming together with soul family, being more received by friends, groups, and alliances, as well as your own pride, right? Your family, a new family, whatever it is. There's a real sense of, one, feeling good about yourself, and two, that drawing towards you this sense of connection. Right, I'm going to leave it at that, Taurus. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, it'd be an honor and a privilege if you hit that like button. Bring me a lot of joy. It's always lovely to see if this resonates, as well as it helps the algorithm. If you want a personal reading, perhaps about this transit or some of the bigger transits we've already had, or just general anything really, I can adapt. I love facilitating my clients. That's my Virgo sun. My website is in the description box, as well as on the channel main page, the description page. So go check that out. Other than that, Taurus, what a new moon to be having. Whoo, in your sign. Oh my God. Be good to yourself, Taurus. Be good to those around you. And most importantly, be well until we meet again.